Thank you, Madam Speaker. It is truly an honor to rise here in this Assembly today. I recognize clearly the great debate that has taken place here. In fact, I've seen it with my own eyes the last couple of days. It's been very interesting for a newcomer. The passionate people that have stood and worked tirelessly before us. In fact, in my desk, there's a signature of the Speaker dated August 30th, 1993. Some have been here a while. I am humbled to be in a position to contribute to this process, and so it begins with a response to the speech from the throne. And may I thank every member in here in advance for your undivided attention, which I know I will have for the next 10 or 15 minutes. Good answer. We have all just come through an election campaign, and so we all know the value of support on the home front. And I'd like to start there. To my wife, Lisa, her unwavering support. I have 3 children. My son, Mitch, who graduates from Chestermere High School this week, and my daughters, Allie Grace and Morgan Faith. I am eternally grateful, clearly, for their support and the campaigns that we have all just come through. Back in August, I took a giant risk and walked away from a very successful and rewarding career to take a run in the field of politics. Some said at the time, McAllister, you have lost your mind. The last day or two, I have thought that maybe they were right at times. But I did so because I want to effect positive change in this province. And I know on that point we all agree. And I want to stand up and effect more positive change in my community. I also did it because I feel like the government has gone off course. And that is what I heard over and over again on the election campaign, through the campaign, from the great people of Chestermere Rockyville. And I'd like to thank those people, too. More than 10,000 of those people humbled me by selecting me to be their provincial representative. I'm truly honored by it. We have a very diverse riding in Chestermere Rockyview. It's diverse in many ways, ethnically, socially, geographically. And you might think of it geographically as an upside-down U, I suppose, over the city of Calgary. On the east side is my hometown of Chestermere, 15,000 people, but there were fewer than 5,000 people in the town of Chestermere 10 years ago. So that gives you an indication of how fast it has grown. In fact, the most recent Canadian census had Chestermere as the 5th fastest growing community in this country and the fastest growing community in this province. And with that kind of growth, of course, we are dealing with some very unique challenges. Keeping up with the necessary community amenities is tough, and I know we'd all recognize that in our own ridings anyway. I hope to be able to provide support for that unprecedented growth, support for health services, support for schools, support for rec facilities when we can. We have a beautiful lake community with wonderful, committed community people, a small army of people that do a lot in the town of Chestermere. I'm very proud to be from there. Also on the east side of this riding is Langdon. It's another rapidly growing community, now more than 4,000 people. It is referred to as the Good Luck Town. There is Conrich, Indus, Catherine, Keoma, Delacour, Delroy, Delmead, and many farms and ranches in between. And so far, we're just on the east side of Chestermere Rockyville. Now, many of those people talked to me about property rights during the campaign. And I should say up front that I intend to stand up for them on this front.
Hear, hear.
I know our party will lobby for property rights in Chestermere Rockyview and throughout Alberta. In the throne speech, Madam Speaker, there was not one mention of this critical issue. And I know a lot of Albertans found that troubling. I mentioned the east side of our riding. There is Balzac to the north of Calgary. There's Springbank, Bearspaw, Elbow Valley, Redwood Meadows, Cochrane Lake, the Tsutsina First Nation on the west side. You will see some of the most natural beauty in this province in this riding. These are communities full of proud people who have found success through hard work, through entrepreneurial thinking and entrepreneurial action. They talked to me at length about the doors, and in community halls, about fiscal responsibility. They asked me over and over again how, in a province with this financial wealth, with an industry like the oil sands, and the revenue that we take in, how is it that we can't go to the mirror and find a way to balance our books? I share their concern. My parents taught me a pretty valuable lesson, and it seems pretty simple actually as well. I think we probably all know it. We'd be wise to apply it in government. Don't spend more than you take in. put money away into savings. I plan to push for these things because my constituents told me to. That's the most important part. I believe we can have the best services in this country and still balance the books. We do have to go to the mirror and remember that we are spending Albertans' money when we are spending money. It is not ours to do with what we choose. We have to spend it wisely, just as Albertans and you and I and everybody else in here has to do in our home. Madam Speaker, my constituency is among the youngest as well in this province. Parents there, very aware that educating our kids, providing the resources and the facilities to do so is a paramount responsibility of the provincial government. We talked about it some today in question period. We have to ensure that all of Alberta's children receive a world-class education which will make them competitive in a world where quality education is becoming more and more significant. In partnership with the important core values taught by my parents, a proper education, we know, provides a launching point for a healthy and contributing citizen. And I should say from all parents, I don't think it was just mine that taught me a few values. We do know that the provincial government spends more per capita than any other province on education. The problem is that tens of millions of those dollars are wasted in an administrative and bureaucratic nightmare. And we spend millions finding ways to burden the classroom teachers with additional paperwork, with record keeping, and other make-work projects. These are things that I heard from teachers themselves and administrators themselves just in the last weeks in meetings in my own constituency. I'd like to see more money go into the classroom, more money for more teachers and frontline staff in our children's schools. That's what this party has talked about. This means flowing more funding directly to individual schools, where principals, teachers, and parents, we believe, know best where and how to spend it. Hiring more teachers was a centerpiece of our last Wild Rose Balanced Budget alternative. We can move money away from other areas, like the government's continued use of corporate welfare projects, like carbon capture. Maybe we would like to see it, of course we would like to see it better used by hiring more teachers, particularly on the front lines, and support staff in the classroom also. Madam Speaker, a central feature of Alberta's education system is that it provides parents with a greater range of educational choices, I think, than any other systems in North America. Many of us choose different choices in this room also. Now, although strong public schools are critical to our education system, charter schools, private schools, home schools provide educational opportunities and teaching methods that are sometimes unavailable in our public system. In fact, our public school boards have responded to competition from these schools by rolling out, I think, a diverse range of excellent options, some optional choices that are second to none in North America. This is why I'm a strong advocate of the public system. I am proud of Chestermere High School, the teachers, the administrators. As I said, my son graduates there this week. My daughter, Allie Grace, is enrolled in kindergarten in the French immersion program at Prairie Waters Elementary in Chestermere also. And c'est bon to the program. They're terrific people and a big supporter of that public system. Madam Speaker, let's not forget the essential role that special needs education should take in our education system. This is crucial. It's an area where the government, I think most would say, or certainly what I heard on the campaign trail, the government is underperforming. There are thousands of children with special learning needs in our education system. The government has done a poor job of caring for them. Now, we do have a very good preschool program with regard to students with developmental disabilities. We should point that out, the good with the bad. But once you move on, once you get into the grade level, after you get past kindergarten, it is underfunded in a lot of ways. And this is something that we hope the government will work to alleviate in the next few years. And again, while we didn't get any indication that they would in the throne speech, I stand here and I believe that they will, and that we can work together on that. We will, as is expected from opposition, hold government accountable on behalf of Albertans when we must. That said, I do look forward to working with government, with the members on the other side of this assembly and on this side, to get more done for the province of Alberta. I believe we can work together. Over the next 4 years, Madam Speaker, I plan to represent the people of Chestermere Rocky to the best of my abilities, which means listening to, it means meeting with, it means advocating for the people that sent me here. It means remembering above all else that it is the people of our province, it is the people of our constituencies that employ us. It is those people that sent us here to the legislature on their behalf. It is an honor, it really is a privilege to stand up here before you today. I'm grateful for the opportunity. I started today by talking about family, and I would like to conclude my response to the speech to the throne by talking about the same thing. My mother, Joan, is in Medicine Hat. I come from blue-collar roots. My mother worked in the dietary and laundry facilities, the Medicine Hat Regional Hospital for years, raising 3 kids for a long stretch by herself. My father is a cow-calf farmer, and he farms in the village of Gagetown, New Brunswick still in his young 70s, mid-70s now. Anybody in farming knows that you can't make a man retire in farming. He'll do it until the very end. But they did teach me something, 1 or 2 things growing up. And one of the most important I'd like to speak of, I think serves us all well, and that is to remain humble. Which means I don't believe it's our hockey jacket that defines us. I don't believe it's our job that defines us. I don't believe it's the vehicle we drive, our bank account, our title, or any of the above. I think at the end of the day, more than anything else, it's our actions that will define us. And through that, Madam Speaker, may I say, we have healthy debate in here, but I believe what unites us is stronger than what divides us. And I hope that we can apply that principle as we go forward. It's my hope that I stand here and sit here on a daily basis with great dignity for the residents of Chestermere-Rocky as we all work toward a better and stronger Alberta. And in closing, Madam Speaker, I think it's important that we remember to laugh at ourselves once in a while. For instance, when the member from Little Bow here, Ian Donovan, shows up with 1 black sock and 1 blue sock on, I think we should laugh at that. Even if it was my lame attempt at a joke to sort of lighten the mood. It is an honor and a privilege to be able to respond to the speech from the throne. Thank you.